talk about how the centre's pitch against triple talaq is getting more and more aggressive. After the Prime Minister spoke yesterday, and of course the response we also saw from the Muslim Personal Law Board, today UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has spoken, comparing those who are witnessing, those politicians who haven't said anything about their position on triple talaq, comparing them as to those who witnessed Draupadi's disrobing. He said they're guilty as well, and the time to speak up is now. It's a comment which is getting mixed reactions on social media and others as well. Even those organizations who support the government on their move against triple talaq are divided on what to say on this comment. However, what we are going to look at with our audience today is the entire movement against triple talaq which is being built up from the center to the state. Is it something which has the backing and support of young voters as well? And most importantly, the government has said it's not a political move. Do the people believe that? But first, let's just hear what Yogi Adityanath has said.
सज्जनों, इस देश के अंदर आज एक नई बहस चली आ रही है। आपने देखा होगा अलग अलग तरीके से इसकी व्याख्या की जा रही है और लोग उसके बारे में अलग अलग बातें कर रहे हैं। कुछ लोगों के मुंह बंद हैं। मुझे याद आता है जब आज लोग देश की एक ज्वलंत समस्या को लेकर के मुंह बंद किए हुए हैं, तो मुझे महाभारत की वो सभा याद आती है जब द्रौपदी का चीरहरण हो रहा होता है और उस समय द्रौपदी ने उस भरी सभा से एक प्रश्न पूछा था कि आखिर इस घटना का दोषी कौन है, इस पाप का दोषी कौन है, चीरहरण की घटना का दोषी कौन है। कोई बोल नहीं पाया था, केवल विदुर ने कहा था। विदुर ने कहा था कि तिहाई दोषी वे हैं जो अपराधी हैं, तिहाई दोषी हैं जो उनके सहयोगी हैं और तिहाई दोषी हैं जो मौन हैं। और मुझे लगता है कि देश का राजनीतिक क्षितिज जब मौन बना हुआ है इस देश के अंदर ट्रिपल तलाक के मामले को लेकर के, सचमुच उन्हें भी कटघरे में खड़ा कर देती है पूरी व्यवस्था, अपराधियों के साथ साथ अपराधियों के सहयोगियों को और मौन लोगों को भी।
So very strong statement there coming from the UP Chief Minister. With me today, I have people from opposite sides of the debate. We have Maria Salim, who's of course of the Bharatiya Muslim Mahila Andolan, who have been talking about reform and the banning of triple talaq. We of course also have Kamal Farooqi of the Muslim Personal Law Board, which had a meeting and said while it is being misused, yet it is an integral part of Islam. We also have another petitioner in Supreme Court, the Bibak Collective, and Hasina Khan from there. But before we go to our experts, we also hope to be joined by the BJP's Nalin Kohli. Before we go to the experts, let's just give you a little bit of a taste of how are people receiving this. Lots of tweets as well while they play out. Let me just get you two students who have opposite views on this. What do you feel of this statement by the Chief Minister? Do you think it's an apt comparison?
No, it is not an apt comparison. Like properties, chirharan and divorce are two very different things. You cannot compare. You cannot say that people who are watching this or keeping silent on such topics are guilty.
Okay, so, and you agree with him though?
Ma'am, I second that opinion. Actually, ma'am, in today's
you
world,
second the Yogi's opinion.
Exactly.
Okay, why?
Ma'am, in today's world, like we are in 21st century right now. We have reached such an extent that it is now time to come up with some modernization. This when we have women are reaching space and so much happening around. We are still here in this situation where we are bind with the orthodox opinion.
Okay, that's exactly the kind of response that the government is looking for as well. In a reply that the government filed in Supreme Court last week, they said this is what's keeping the Muslim community backward. They believe that this will take them forward. Let's just take that to our guests as well with our first talking point. Is this an apt analogy, and what do they make of the BJP's intentions with this? Remember, they haven't till now, they haven't linked it at all with the Uniform Civil Code. Dr. Farooqi, you've heard the debate till now. Strong statements from the Prime Minister and the Chief Minister. You heard what a lot of the young people have to say as well. How would you respond to him?
I don't want to respond to the political statement because you have seen it over a period of time. The political leaders, more particularly from the BJP, they have been using it as the election issue, in fact, right from the time when the UP elections were announced. Our Honorable Law Minister made a kind of a statement which was absolutely uncalled for. And then even the Prime Minister, Mr. Yogi, and all those people have been taking it up as a political issue. Instead of working for the, yes, there could be some problems, yes, even we are worried about, even if it is a one single case of the divorce. And by the way, let me tell you one thing, that whether it is the one-time divorce, saying in one time, or it is the 3 times, divorce in any case has been the most disliked action, but an allowable act. It's a route to get out of the marriage institution, the nikah. So using this as a political platform, I would have been very happy if they could have said it, something about the our girl child, in fact, that they would have been in a position to say that now onward, yes, of course we will resolve this also, but at the same time, all our Muslim girls, we will be providing them the education, we will be providing the modern education and all those kind of. Instead of that, what actually they are trying to do it, they are trying to convert the whole discussion to polarize the entire country, which is very, very unfortunate. I don't think that they are really concerned about the Muslim women.
Okay,
they are only concerned it as from the political point of view, which is highly objectionable.
Okay, Dr. Farooqi's position is one that is countered by the other side about the Muslim women's organizations, 2 of which are here on the show today. Maria Salim, you heard what Dr. Farooqi said, but first of all,
I'm not doctor, by the way.
That's right. Yeah, but I just wanted to ask you that this analogy and the statements that you're hearing from the centre, whether it is from the Prime Minister or from the Chief Minister, is that something you agree with?
See, where we welcome the government's stand of talking about reform in Muslim personal law, not referring to the UCC, etc., to stop triple talaq, there's a problem with what Yogi Adityanath has said yesterday. I personally believe there's a problem. One, because I don't think there is any comparison between the 2 things that he said. And if we keep giving into this kind of politicking, then also look at what a certain Sadhvi said about Muslim women marrying outside of their religion or marrying other people to solve the issue. Then it's always followed by let's use UCC as the magic wand which will end all the woes of Muslim women. No. So yes, where we completely support the government's stand of not referring to the UCC, talking about reforms in Muslim personal law to do away with talaq, this sort of a comparison is not, I think, uncalled for.
Nalin Kori, do you want to respond to that? Even the women's groups who've supported the government till now feel a little uncomfortable with what Yogi Adityanath has said. Let me also point out a couple of reactions that have come in from people on Twitter and social media as well. They're saying, why is it, Muslims who are often misguided, blame to this cause of illiteracy as a lack of Islamic education. The clergy should educate. They said problem lies in the fact that why is it under focus when divorce rate is lower in Muslims compared to others. So many people feel that the way some of these statements, you just heard Maria Salim speak, what would you respond to her?
I have a few comments to make. And I think we should segregate each one of them before we arrive at any conclusion. First of all is the triple talaq issue has to be seen from the narrow prism of women's rights in terms of the constitutional guarantee, specifically Article 14, which is equality before law. This entire issue is not a BJP issue. It is not an issue created by anyone. It's Muslim women having approached the Honorable Supreme Court, talking about the issues that they are facing or problems facing because of triple talaq and the constitutional challenge in terms of right to equality. So fundamentally it comes down to only one thing: can a woman be treated unequally to another woman, both Indian citizens under the same constitution, because there is an issue arising out of their personal law. So therefore, where does Article 14 stand? That's the critical issue. The second part to it, with regards to Article 19, which is freedom of speech and expression, whether it is Mr. Yogi Adityanath or someone in your program, everyone is entitled to have a point of view. The comment of Adityanath ji is focused on women's rights in terms of an analogy related to the Mahabharata. You can't take it literally, because some people will even dispute whether the Mahabharata itself is true or not true. But it is part of India's epic, which belongs to every Indian. It is not as if this is a Hindu text or a religious text. So in terms of women's rights and saying that can we allow injustice against me being meted out against a sister of ours or a fellow citizen of ours and be mute spectators to it, it's an analogy restricted only to that. This is not going to have any bearing in terms of what is before the Honorable Supreme Court. The last part, the Constitution, just one more comment, because I wanted the whole framework to be clear. The Constitution of India is a package. May I?
Yeah.
May I? Just let me, because it's part of the same argument.
Everyone
will have a view, I'm sure, after that. The Constitution of India is something that is the most important document to each one of us. The Constitution of India is something that's a package. The Constitution cannot be treated in a manner when all Indians, it doesn't matter, because our identities as Indians comes first from the Constitution. Thereafter, we may have our identities which may be different on caste, which may be on religion, etc., etc. Now, this is a package. Some parts of the Constitution of these fundamental rights are absolutely. Yes, I'm coming up. I practice, sir. So do you. Please don't interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me, Farooqi Sahab. Because the rights of a Muslim or a minority in the Constitution flow from the Constitution. You cannot say that my Article 26 to 29 can be higher than right to life and liberty of 21, can be higher than 14, and can also be higher than 19, which is freedom of expression.
The constitutional point of view is
I know it's already in the court.
The constitutional point of view is something that you put in your affidavit earlier as well. So I just want to take it to Hasina Khan, because we want to take up what you said.
I know it's something very, it makes them nervous, because this entire debate is actually on a constitutional point.
Hasina Khan, how would you respond to it? Do you accept what Nalin Kohli is saying, his explanation of it, or do you now feel that it is becoming politicized? What you all thought, because I know the Bebag collective is gone, and while everyone, a lot of the women's groups have made a distinction between supporting the government stand and actually supporting Uniform Civil Code. How would you see the statements that are now emerging?
Yeah. Can I say? Can I speak? Yeah.
Yes, please.
The first thing is actually the first thing is actually I'm totally condemning to the All India Muslim Personal Law Board statement, and of course I'm totally condemning for this Mr. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath statement also, this analogy for this Draupadi also. Both are the actually the comments and statement. It's like just like both are just like right wings, and there nothing any change. And we are very surprised about why is All India Muslim Personal Law Board not thinking about what Muslim women is talking about today. And so many Muslim women come together and approach the court, and they last more than 35 years. They survived so many issues. And why not understand? Why don't not understanding and to looking for this today's scenario? Because so बहुत सारी औरतें जो है वो ये कोर्ट को ये मान के चल रही है कि अब ये समय है कि हमारे लिए औरतों के लिए ये एक राइट्स के प्रोटेक्शन की बात हो सकती है। ये बहुत ही प्रॉब्लमेटिक है कि किस तरीके से बीजेपी एक राइट विंग्स और ऑल इंडिया मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड दूसरा राइट विंग जो है वो एक मुसलमान औरतों को एक तरीके से फुटबॉल की तरह यूज़ किया जा रहा है। और यहाँ पे द्रौपदी और ट्रिपल तलाक को एक इक्वल जगह पर लाकर ये एक पूरा एक पॉलिटिसाइजिंग और इसको एक ग्लोबल लेवल पर जो मीडिया को एक तरीके से माना जा रहा है.
Hasina Khan has said very clearly that Muslim women feel, even though you are pushing their stand.
पहली बात तो नहीं, I've understood what it is. I've heard Hasina Khan ji, and I can answer that straight also. I've understood that, Sunetra. I've heard the question. No, I've heard that. I mean, you're just repeating that. I heard that. The point I want to make is, irrespective of a view that anyone may have, the BJP, the Congress, the left, the right, the up, the down, it doesn't matter. The matter before the Supreme Court is going to be purely on the question of its validity in terms of the Constitution of India. So it doesn't matter. Everyone can articulate a point of view. That is not going to be something. It does not change the merits. Second is that it would become, for example, political over a period. For example, a Muslim lady who writes to the Prime Minister and then an FIR gets registered or things. Now, when this is coming, it's not the BJP that's doing it, the administration. UP is important for one reason. UP was not a party to the triple talaq petition, because with the change of government, that possibility opens out. The Union of India has become a party because the Union has filed its affidavit. Tomorrow, the state of UP, from where a lot of cases are coming, may file an affidavit. I can't speak because that's for the state government of UP to decide. The Chief Minister articulating a point of view will not change anything with regard to the questions that are before the Supreme Court. So I think we shouldn't mix the two. One is society having its view, which can be a separate debate, and the case is on its merits, which has nothing to do with the other issues. That will be purely on the merits of Constitution.
Okay. Fair enough, Lalan Kohli, and we'll ask some of our audience members over here about the point that you've made, that it's got nothing to do with politics. You've said it very clearly. But do the women's groups, do the audience women, do the young voters, do they believe that or not? And then we'll get Kamal Farooqi to respond to that as well. We'll take a short break on Agenda. Be right back.